Did you know you could suffer a stroke and not even realize it happened? No slurred speech, no collapsed limbs, no dramatic symptoms. Just a quiet event inside your brain that leaves behind real, lasting damage. They're called silent strokes, and while they may not make headlines in the moment, they leave behind footprints. Footprints that can change memory, mood, mobility, and even increase your risk for a major stroke later. And here's the startling part. They're more common than you think. In fact, experts believe that nearly 1 in 4 people over age 60 have had at least one silent stroke, and most never knew it happened. You see, as we grow older, our bodies start to whisper things instead of shouting them. A little forgetfulness here, a stumble there, a bit of fog in your thinking or vision. But what if those subtle clues aren't just part of aging? What if they're your brain trying to warn you? That's what this video is about. Welcome to Gentle Wisdom, where we share thoughtful advice for aging well. In today's video, we'll walk you through 5 quiet, often missed clues your body may be giving you. Signs that could mean a silent stroke has already happened, or worse, that one may be on the way. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because when you understand these signals early, you can take action. And that action could protect your brain, your body, and your independence. These clues are especially important if you're over 60, managing conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, or if you've had any heart or vascular issues in the past. Even if you feel healthy now, these signs might be trying to tell you something. So stay with us until the end, because the final clue is one that's so often dismissed, yet it's directly connected to early stroke risk. And knowing how to respond to it might just save your life, or someone you love. Let's begin with the very first clue. It's something most people laugh off at first, but it's actually your brain's early cry for help. Clue 1. Unexplained memory. Lapses. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you misplaced your glasses, only to find them resting quietly on your head. We all have little slips like these now and then. They're usually harmless, a sign of a busy mind, a moment of distraction, but sometimes, just sometimes, they can mean something more. When memory lapses become sudden, unusual, or out of character, they could be a silent clue from your brain, a gentle signal that something deeper might be going on beneath the surface. Let's be clear, we're not talking about full-blown dementia or severe memory loss. This is about subtle changes. Maybe you forget names more often. Maybe you lose your train of thought mid-sentence, even in familiar conversations. Or perhaps someone close to you gently says, "Hey, you already told me that story earlier today." These moments may feel small, but they matter, especially if they happen more than once. You see, when a silent stroke occurs, it damages tiny areas of brain tissue, often in regions that control memory, attention, or focus. Because it's not dramatic or physically disabling, it's easy to miss. But your brain knows. It compensates quietly, rerouting signals, working harder behind the scenes, until it can't anymore. And that's where these lapses start to show. Many seniors blame these changes on age. And while aging does affect memory a little, it doesn't usually cause sudden confusion or gaps that feel strange or unnerving. So how do you tell the difference? Start by listening, not just to yourself, but to the people around you. Are loved ones noticing changes before you do? Are you writing down more reminders than you used to? Do you ever feel foggy for no clear reason? These small memory disruptions could be one of your brain's earliest cries for help, a life-saving clue that deserves your attention. The good news? Catching these signs early gives you a chance to act. You can speak to your doctor, request a scan, you can make changes to your blood pressure, blood sugar, or cholesterol before more damage occurs. Because every silent stroke leaves a footprint. But footprints can be followed, and if you catch the trail early, you can stop it in its tracks. So don't brush it off as just getting older. Your memory isn't just about names and dates. It's the keeper of your stories, your relationships, your independence. Treat it with care, because sometimes forgetting one small thing is the way your brain is asking you not to forget yourself. Clue 2. sudden balance issues, or unexplained falls. Have you ever stood up, taken a few steps, and felt the world tilt ever so slightly? Maybe you reached for something on a shelf and suddenly lost your footing. Or perhaps you've had a fall recently, not from slipping, not from tripping, just falling. And afterward, you couldn't quite explain why it happened. It's easy to blame balance issues on age. And yes, with time, our muscles weaken, our reflexes slow down a little. But what most people don't realize is that balance isn't just about strength or bones, it's about the brain. In fact, your brain is constantly processing signals from your eyes, ears, legs, and feet to keep you upright. And when even a small area of the brain suffers from reduced blood flow, like in a silent stroke, your body can suddenly feel off balance, wobbly, or unsteady. These tiny strokes often strike regions responsible for coordination, not the ones that cause dramatic symptoms like slurred speech. That's why the signs are so easy to miss. Until one day you find yourself on the floor, wondering how you got there. Many older adults don't realize their first fall is actually their first warning. And here's where it gets serious. After age 60, falling isn't just about bruises. It can lead to head injuries, broken bones, and a frightening loss of confidence that affects how you move through life. But here's the good news. If you notice that you've been feeling more unsteady lately, or if a friend or family member gently mentions it, you can take that as a life-saving clue, not a final sentence. Bring it up with your doctor. Ask whether it's worth doing a neurological check or a scan. Sometimes the brain sends balance signals as its first quiet cry for help. And if it turns out to be something else, wonderful. You'll still be safer and more aware. But if it is a silent stroke trying to whisper before it shouts, your awareness could mean the difference between recovery and regret. So please, don't wait for a second fall. That first unexplained stumble may be your body's way of saying, something's not right, please listen. Clue 3. Temporary vision problems. Have you ever had a moment where your vision suddenly blurred? Just for a few seconds? Or maybe you saw double, a shadow that didn't belong, or a strange dimming, like someone lightly pulled a curtain over your eyes? And then, just as quickly as it came, it disappeared. It's easy to dismiss. You know, maybe I stood up too fast, we say. Maybe I need new glasses. And sometimes, yes, it's nothing to worry about. But sometimes these brief visual changes are more than just tired eyes. They can be one of the earliest clues that something's wrong deep inside the brain. You see, our vision is controlled by the occipital lobe, a part of the brain tucked at the back of your head. If a tiny blood vessel feeding this area becomes blocked, even for a short time, it can cause a silent stroke, affecting how your brain processes what you see. And because it doesn't hurt, because it goes away on its own, most people ignore it. But here's what's quietly dangerous. Every time the brain doesn't get the blood it needs, even for just a few minutes, a small piece of it suffers. And when it happens in the visual processing centers, the effects may be as subtle as a moment of fuzziness, or the brief feeling that you're looking through foggy glasses. In seniors, especially those with diabetes, high blood pressure, or cholesterol issues, these vision flutters can be the brain's version of a warning light on the dashboard. It flickers and then goes dark. But the engine is still in trouble. Some silent strokes also affect eye movement, causing brief double vision or difficulty tracking objects, like following a sentence in a book or watching someone walk across the room. If that's ever happened to you, even just once, please don't brush it off. You don't need to panic, but you do need to pay attention. The next time your vision feels off, especially if it happens without a clear cause, make a note of it. Write it down. Tell your doctor. Because that tiny window into your sight may actually be a window into your brain's health. And here's something reassuring. A simple scan, a quick checkup, can often spot these small strokes early, before they lead to bigger ones. Your eyes are not just tools for seeing the world. They're mirrors into your mind. And when your vision goes blurry, your brain may be trying to tell you, I need help. I need you to notice. Clue 4. Sudden mood or personality changes. Have you ever felt a shift in your mood that you couldn't explain? Maybe you used to be easygoing, but now you find yourself irritated by small things. Or perhaps you've noticed a cloud of sadness that lingers, even when life is calm. Maybe it's not even you who notices. Maybe it's your spouse, your children, or a close friend who gently says, "You just don't seem like yourself lately." We often think of strokes as physical, weakness in the arm, slurred speech, facial drooping. But what many people don't realize is that strokes can also change how we feel, think, and interact. Even the silent ones. You see, mood isn't just emotion, it's neurology. Our brains manage feelings through a delicate web of signals and regions, areas responsible for empathy, patience, decision-making, and joy. When a silent stroke disrupts those areas, the result might not be physical at all. It might show up in your personality. For example, a person who was once cheerful might become withdrawn. Someone who was calm may now startle easily or get overwhelmed in situations they once handled with grace. And because these shifts happen slowly, they're easy to miss, or to blame on aging, stress, or just being tired. But here's the thing. Your brain doesn't just carry your thoughts. It carries your emotional identity. And if it's quietly struggling, it might show it through sadness, anxiety, impatience, or even a loss of interest in things that once brought you joy. That's why mood changes in older adults should never be brushed off. They are just as real and just as important as physical symptoms. If you or someone you love has noticed an emotional change that feels off, it's worth exploring further. Sometimes it's life, sometimes it's hormones, but sometimes it's the brain quietly saying, "I've been hurt," even if you didn't see it happen. The good news is, this is something you can act on. Talk to your doctor. Describe the change honestly. They may suggest a neurological check or a brain scan to rule out subtle damage. Because your mood matters, not just for your mental well-being, but as a vital clue to your overall brain health. And remember, you are still you. Even if something feels a little different, you are still worthy of care, attention, and healing. Clue 5. Numbness or tingling on one side. Have you ever woken up and felt like your hand fell asleep? Maybe you shook it off and didn't think twice. But what if that feeling didn't go away? What if it crept down one side of your body, your arm, your leg, maybe even your face, and stayed? Sudden numbness or a pins and needles sensation, especially on just one side of the body, can be a powerful early warning sign of a silent stroke. You see, your brain operates like a command center. One side of the brain controls the opposite side of the body. So when even a tiny area of the brain is damaged, without causing pain or slurred speech, it may still quietly disrupt how your nerves communicate with your limbs. At first, it might feel subtle, a weak grip when holding your coffee mug, a strange tingling in your foot that wasn't there yesterday, an odd sensation when buttoning your shirt, like your fingers just aren't listening. Because it doesn't hurt, we often ignore it. We chalk it up to arthritis, poor circulation, or sleeping in a weird position. But these changes deserve attention, especially if they come on suddenly, affect only one side, or seem to linger longer than they should. And here's something many people don't realize. In older adults, a silent stroke might not trigger obvious symptoms like facial drooping or confusion. Instead, it might just leave behind a quiet footprint, like numbness, that builds slowly or stays unnoticed. That's why it's so important to listen to your body. If something feels off, if your balance is strange, your foot drags slightly, or one side feels different, don't brush it aside. Talk to your doctor. Even a simple neurological exam or brain scan can uncover whether a small stroke has occurred, and more importantly, help prevent a larger, life-threatening one in the future. Because you're not just protecting your body, you're protecting your independence. You've worked hard for your freedom, your routine, your rhythm. Don't let a silent signal steal that away from you without a sound. If something we've shared so far has made you pause, maybe a quiet truth, a gentle reminder, go ahead and type the word "aware" in the comments. It's a simple way to say, "I'm paying attention now." And if you feel this kind of calm, caring content belongs in your life, you're warmly invited to subscribe and tap the bell. We'd love to keep walking this path of gentle wisdom with you. What to do if you notice these signs? So, maybe one of these clues sounded a little familiar, maybe more than one, and now you're wondering, what should I do? Do I wait? Do I watch? Or is it time to act? Here's the truth, gently said. If you've experienced any of the signs we've shared, even once, it's worth listening to your body and taking the next step. Because silent strokes don't come with sirens or headlines. They show up quietly and they're often ignored until something far more serious happens. The good news is, you don't need to panic, but you also don't need to wait. Start by writing down what you've noticed. What happened? When did it happen? How long did it last? Did it happen again? Even these simple notes can help your doctor understand what's going on beneath the surface. Next, schedule an appointment with your primary care doctor or a neurologist. Be honest, even if the symptoms feel small or inconsistent. Many times your provider may recommend a few simple tests, a CT scan or MRI to look for past stroke damage, blood pressure monitoring, blood sugar and cholesterol testing, possibly an ultrasound to check blood flow to the brain. These tests don't take long, and they could uncover problems that are quietly developing, giving you the chance to take action early. And if everything comes back normal? Wonderful. That peace of mind is worth it. But if something is beginning, catching it now could prevent something much bigger later. Finally, consider what you can do at home. Small changes make a big difference. Keep your blood pressure in a healthy range. Stay active. Even 20 minutes of walking a day helps. Eat heart-healthy foods, less salt, more greens, healthy fats. Quit smoking if you haven't already. Manage stress through relaxation, deep breathing, or quiet hobbies. You don't have to do it all at once, just begin, because even the gentlest action can stop a silent stroke from becoming a life-changing event. And that is powerful. So now you know, silent strokes don't always shout, but they whisper. And when we learn how to listen to the slips in memory, the changes in balance, the soft warnings in our vision or mood, we give ourselves the chance to protect something priceless. Our independence, our dignity, our minds. Here's the comforting truth. Catching these clues early doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you're wise enough to notice. It means you care about your future. It means you're ready to pay attention to your health with the same devotion you've given to others all your life. And that's a beautiful thing. At Gentle Wisdom, we believe that aging doesn't mean fading. It means awakening to your body's rhythms, to your heart's pace, and to the quiet signals that deserve your respect. So if this video made you pause, made you reflect, made you wonder, we invite you to take one small step today. Maybe it's calling your doctor. Maybe it's setting a reminder to walk each morning. Maybe it's just telling someone you trust, "Hey, I learned something important today." And if you're still watching, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one clue that stood out to you. Which one surprised you? Which one felt familiar? Your words might help someone else feel seen, understood, and not so alone. And if this video brought you any comfort, insight, or hope, please gently tap the subscribe button and ring the bell icon. We share thoughtful, calming videos just like this every week, made with care for you and those you love. Thank you for spending this time with us. Your attention, your presence, and your health all matter deeply. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again in the next video, right here on Gentle Wisdom.